Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well today. My name's John VanFossen. I'm the project program manager that's been selected by ISE6801 to represent your Field to Family Incorporated project. So we're going to be doing the initial project report today, answering some questions you guys had requested. First, quick overview. Field to Family has come up with a new farm-to-table business model. It's going to be direct shipping orders to consumer homes using a new efficient network. The development of this network is going to include data centers and a lot of online systems, and will be a very complex undertaking that we have to incorporate numerous farms and distributors all into one functioning system. So the project objective is to develop a new successful farm-to-table business that's going to be bringing new convenience, fresh, nutritious food delivered to customers in a timely fashion while still making a reasonable profit for the investors. The top 5 program success factors, I think number 1 is going to be attracting new customers. This is a completely new business and new model. To be successful, we must attract new customers, which means we must be more competitive against local stores. We must have a strong marketing plan, and we must definitely market to our target markets. We have to source locally. This is going to be integral to the business model. To compete against local stores, we must have an efficient supply chain. This will be done through mergers and acquisitions of local farms, suppliers, and distributors. We need to limit startup and expansion impact on initial deliveries. We're going to be expanding and building quickly for the first year or so of business, so we must control the impact this is going to have on the new customer base, so that way the new customers still remain satisfied and will not have any reason to leave the business or talk poorly about us. We need to have strong customer support. Once we get a new customer, we have to be able to retain that customer, encouraging them to tell their friends and family about the business. We must implement a strong customer-focused employee training program. And we have to work hard on the integration of multiple organizations. There's going to be many farmers, distributors, lots of automation, IT platforms, that all has to be integrated together and be successful for this project to succeed. As far as the org chart goes, we're going to have Margaret at the top being the executive sponsor, with you guys, the steering committee, giving feedback to her and me. I will be the overall program manager. We'll have a sub-project manager for farm operations, one for distribution, and we're going to have a CIO that's going to head up both the web platform development and the data management sub-projects. Each of those sub-projects then will be broken down into smaller sub-projects with their own project leaders, and we'll get into more detail on that a little bit later. As far as the stakeholder expectations, things I'm going to be looking for you guys to help with, the biggest one I think is that you need to be open to new ideas and new business methods. We're going to be integrating dozens of smaller companies with this project, and each one is going to have their own opinion and own operation methods and operation standards. So we're going to work to identify the most efficient, effective practices from each business to implement these all into the new model. So that means you guys need to be focused on changing your own business to make sure that it matches the new business model and new business plan. We need you to commit to the project. This is an all or nothing proposition. If we don't have buy-in from all the executives in the creation of this new business model, we are not going to be successful. That means you must identify any concerns or issues immediately to the project team to ensure we can address them and be successful. Going along that same lines, you need to present a unified front to the project team. The whole project team must feel the steering committee and VPs believe in the project and want it to succeed. Don't express any doubts to the team members. If you have concerns, bring them up with me, and we will discuss with the appropriate PMs as needed. For project methodology, we're going to be using both using both waterfall and agile development. We'll be using waterfall method for the farm and delivery portions of this project, since they're more kind of big industry and have a large end goal in mind. For the software and big data portions, we're going to be using agile. Each section will be broken down into its own sub-project. Key milestones will be identified. Control points will be established at each cross-project point to ensure we're communicating, and to make sure that we don't have any schedule delays because of a missed delivery from one project team or another. Project constraints, the steering committee has identified as Schedule and quality need to be the top two items we need to focus on for this particular project. So this is going to mean a few things. First, schedule is going to be king. Keeping schedule as our first priority means that other areas may struggle or fall behind. Since quality is priority number two, the most likely items to be impacted are going to be the scope and the cost. There's a good chance we will have cost overruns and or scope reductions if some unexpected issues or risks do arise. This means we must have a plan in place for additional financing. We must also have a good idea for what the minimum expectations of our current target customer will be, so we don't descope too much and miss some important items for those customers. For the farm to family resources, we're going to need daily input from Margaret during the first several months to assist with requirements of scoping and basic business model layout. Excuse me. And we will need weekly input from the steering committee through update meetings and issue meetings like we're doing today. These will become a regular thing in your guys' schedule, so I ask you that you do support that and give that 100% of your effort. We're going to require resources from HR and financing to ensure that we have the manpower and funding that are going to be required to make this project successful. The next presentation that I'll be giving you next week will have more details as far as how much manpower and what kind of funding is going to be needed and when. So we'll work on that. Current project risks that we've identified. The most critical risk right now, I think, is the farm development of the farm network. In order for this project to be successful, all the identified farms must be purchased or contracted at reasonable rates. With so many different farmers involved in different areas, this is going to be a serious challenge to the plan. It's going to be something that requires a lot of work, a lot of manpower, and a lot of back and forth with these farmers to make sure that they feel that they're getting a good deal and that we aren't shortchanging them, so that we maintain a strong reputation in the local communities. The next major item, I think, will be the risk of undersizing our IT infrastructure. We want to keep costs as low as possible early on so that we can start turning a profit quickly to grow the business. If the business grows faster than we anticipate, the infrastructure must be able to scale with it, or we risk losing customers because the website and interface becomes unresponsive or orders get lost in the noise. So that's a very important part of our new CIO's job. Weather is always a serious risk for any farm or produce business. If we are impacted by weather, we need to make sure we have a backup plan to offer alternative or non-local produce for customers that the customers will find acceptable when local items are not available due to various weather issues that may arise. For some best practices that we plan to implement, number one is we're going to have a CIO. This project relies heavily on technology and big data. We need to have an expert in these areas at the top of the chain to guide the project and assist in resolving issues and to integrate both parts of the IT infrastructure. Mark is an expert in this area and he knows a lot about scaling, so he will be able to set us up for success, I have no doubts. The next best practice is we're going to ensure that we have employee buy-in to the project. This means that all the project leaders and the steering committee and the executive members must be confident and believe in the project. If team members do not believe in the cause of the project and do not have confidence in management, the chances of success for this project will be very limited. We're going to be offering early discounts and beta testing for employees, just to give them that little extra incentive just to get them on board and then hopefully start referring future customers when we do go live. We're going to be implementing a very strong risk management plan. Each group is going to have a risk management leader. Each sub-project, I should say, will have a risk management leader, and we'll have weekly, and if it comes down to the need to a daily management of risk. We'll be integrating various farms, distribution, big data, online ordering in a fashion that has not been done before, so there are the potential for some very large issues and risks to develop. We're going to do an early rollout that I like to call an early adopter phase. We'll find a small group of willing participants to use the system as a beta test. This is going to help us iron out any bugs or kinks in the delivery stream prior to a worldwide launch, or sorry, not worldwide, local-wide launch. Also help us build marketing buzz around the product and get some direct marketing, basically as the new early adopters talk to their friends and family about it. Finally, everybody loves metrics, right? So we're going to set strong metrics to measure program success, and that will be critical at Go Live. We're going to implement metrics to determine how long deliveries take, how fresh produce is at arrival, how long it takes to process orders, just to name a few. There's going to be a lot more to come. Those are just some of our initial ideas. So thank you for your time. I know I went through that very quick, so if anybody has any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to ask either now or you can contact me later when you do have time. I appreciate your time. Thank you.